Hello, fabulous Capricorn. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of August 2014 Love Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Well, last month I told you about Venus moving through your opposite sign, and that trend continues into this month as well in the first part of the month. But what's really great and what's different, but what's really great is that late last month, Venus is activating the cardinal cross. So all that cardinal cross business that Venus is going about activating, making you ask some really tough questions of yourself where it comes to love and leading to some adventures and also really strong emotions as well. It's almost as if as the month begins, there's like a click that takes place within you. It's like all of a sudden you feel a shift. And that is thanks to your ruling planet, Saturn. As you start the month, Saturn will be speaking in supreme harmony with Venus, moving through your opposite sign. And this particular conversation is one of stability, and it's one of understanding really what really matters, and also with a view to the big picture and the long term. It is one that promises you that if you have faith and you do what's in front of you to do, you can experience a love that is stable, that is strong, and also that is, in most part, drama-free. It needn't be this big roller coaster. It needn't be this big adventure that some of you, not all of you, but some of you out there may have experienced as Venus was speaking with Pluto and speaking with Uranus as well in the later part of July. I do think for most of you, as you start this month, you will sense that there are blessings with you where it comes to love, but you will also sense that you are moving in a much more positive direction. And it really is going to be because of you. Something shifts within you where you get the big picture and you get what it is actually that you're going for. And for some of you, the answer, I think for a lot of you, the answer actually is likely going to be you're going for stability. You're going for something long term. But for some of you, actually, I think the answer may not be that. For some of you, actually, the answer might be, you know what? I've been thinking that I'm supposed to have something stable. I'm supposed to go for the long-term thing. But actually, right now, I'd rather focus my energy elsewhere. And to have that sense of grounding and to know that it's not coming from a place of fear, it's not coming from a place of not wanting to be hurt, but it's actually coming from a genuine place of self-knowledge. That is the advantage that is with you as you start this month. And that is what allows you to really make full use of Venus continuing to move through your opposite sign in the first part of the month. And so as Venus moves through your opposite sign in the first part of the month, this does tend to bring people with it that are attracted to you, people with it who have real long-term potential as well, for those of you who are open to that. It can also bring with it a sense of not only clarity, but a sense of understanding of the type of love that you desire to experience in a partnership. Now, those of you in an established bond are likely to just experience a sweetness from your spouse, are likely to experience a softening of the bond, some of the drama or uncertainty or questions or things kind of coming out of nowhere settle down as you start the month. And that allows you to sort of foster a more genuine connection with this person. For those of you who have somebody in your sphere, this is going to be a time when you're just finding yourself enjoying that other person's company and maybe thinking, if they're still around as you start the month, if you haven't made a choice, if you've decided to continue walking with them, then you should enter a time that feels really happy and feels a little nicer as well. Those of you open to love, it's a really great time to connect with somebody who matters to you and connect with somebody who really, as I said, has potential to last a long time. And especially in the early part of the month, if you meet somebody in the early part of the month, the likelihood of that actually blossoming into something that feels like it's stable and strong becomes that much more likely. By the time we get to the second half of the month, Venus will move on into a part of the sky for you that has to do with true intimacy. It has to do with intimacy and the feeling of being respected, known and respected by another, and also knowing and respecting deeply another person as well. And so when I look at this, this is really you wanting what's real, what is substantial, craving meaningful connections, meaningful experiences. The superfluous, just getting to know somebody, that back and forth is not going to be the easiest thing for you to do, because there's going to be a desire to get right to the truth and to get right to knowing somebody in a way that is free of the masks that maybe we wear. Now, what's really interesting about what's happening with Venus in this part of the sky, and especially as we move towards the end of the month, is Venus will be speaking in harmony with Uranus, which is really nice in terms of like just spontaneously having one of those moments that opens your heart, where it feels like this other person really trusted you, showed you something that really mattered, was vulnerable in front of you, and that you were able to be vulnerable to that person as well. However, also towards the end of the month, we have Venus speaking with Saturn and Mars in a type of conversation that astrologers call a square. And this is a conversation of tension and motivation as well. And when I look at this, it does suggest to me that a couple of things. One is, when I look at this particular conversation taking place, the first thing that came to my mind was, intimacy, knowing somebody really well is great. Okay. But there is a natural process that allows that to happen. That is more beautiful, of course, that is earned, really, a type of trust that takes place over a period of time, and a type of respect that takes place over a period of time as this other person slowly but surely shows you who they are, shows you what's really going on within them on a level of heart, on a level of spirit, and you come to respect that more and more. It is a process that you cannot rush. And if you try to rush it, it can end up going not so good. You can end up seeing things and not really knowing how to interpret them. Or the other possibility with this as well is sometimes this does happen with people. We kind of want to rush the process. We want to be close to another person. And so we may at times sort of confuse, it does happen, emotional intimacy with physical intimacy as well. And so however this energy kind of plays out with you, really the lesson here ultimately is to pace yourself, is to take your time. It's great. You have a connection. It's great when you have those moments where you glimpse something that's really real in this person. However, it is after the fact. What do they do after the fact that makes you respect them even more? Is it that they act like, oh my God, I can't believe I shared this, and they feel really vulnerable and they run from you for the next 2 weeks? Or is it that they're really able to sort of stay in that, but not indulge that, and still keep it light and keep it about love as well? So these are going to be lessons for you to look at as you move towards the end of the month. So those of you in an established bond, I'm seeing this play out more in terms of, what are your expectations of this other person? How much support is it that they should be offering you? And that support can be emotional support, absolutely. There may be a financial element to this as well. But what does it mean to share? What does it mean to really join forces? These are going to be the questions that are with you through the end of the month. Those of you who have somebody in your sphere, it may be that it's too much too fast, actually. I do think for some of you, whether it's you who ends up feeling that way or the other person, it does look like there's this feeling like, okay, wow, all of a sudden this thing has become really, really heavy when it doesn't need to be. And those of you who are open to love as well may likely find that you connect with somebody who right away sort of has a need to expose their wounds, if you will, who may take the opportunity of getting to know you as a therapy session. And I know it's been said many, many times over by many, many people, your date is not your therapist. That is really key, whether it's you that shares too much or that other person that shares too much. It's almost as if you have some sort of connection with somebody and you're likely to meet somebody. Yes, I do think so, with Venus moving through your opposite sign. But again, pace yourself and understand that the best things sort of have a way of revealing themselves in their own time. And if you have a need to share a lot, it may be that you having that need represents something a little bit larger. If that other person has a need to share as well, that speaks volumes to you as well as to where this other person is in their growth and their readiness to really experience some sort of a connection with another person. One thing is for sure, though, the universe wants you to understand and know what it means to love more deeply than you have before, and to be open to love more than you have before as well. So welcome those opportunities, whether in an established bond or whether you're connecting with somebody new or you're open to love as well, because it is love that is really going to show you the truth of what's in you and also what it is within you that deserves your kindness and that deserves your respect. Thank you for watching. It'll be a great month. Be fabulous and enjoy.